quick look at hopefully I'm all good, guys. I rolled over something.
Money work. El mundo quiere dinero.
Yeah, I know.
Money work. Se arregla con dinero.
SC Project branding logo that's on here.
Money work. Si me quiero educar, dormir en algún lugar.
Really cool. And we're also gonna change the kickstand knob, guys. Alright. Let's take a quick look at the
Hopefully I'm all good, guys. I rolled over something.
Un par de gente se llama el Putin Angel. Funny, pasa verdadero. Si tienes lo verde siempre llegará primero. Pero yo Lunes. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero.
Yeah, I know.
Money work. Se arregla con dinero.
SC Project branding logo that's on here.
Money work. Si me quiero educar, dormir en algún lugar.
Really cool. And we're also gonna change the kickstand knob, guys. Alright. Let's take a quick look at the
Hopefully I'm all good, guys. I rolled over something.
Un par de gente se llama el Putin Angel. Funny, pasa verdadero. Si tienes lo verde siempre llegará primero. Pero yo Lunes. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero.
Yeah, I know.
Money work. Se arregla con dinero.
SC Project branding logo that's on here.
Money work. Si me quiero educar, dormir en algún lugar.
Really cool. And we're also gonna change the kickstand knob, guys. Alright. Let's take a quick look at the
Hopefully I'm all good, guys. I rolled over something.
Un par de gente se llama el Putin Angel. Funny, pasa verdadero. Si tienes lo verde siempre llegará primero. Pero yo Lunes. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero.
Yeah, I know.
Money work. Se arregla con dinero.
SC Project branding logo that's on here.
Money work. Si me quiero educar, dormir en algún lugar.
Really cool. And we're also gonna change the kickstand knob, guys. Alright. Let's take a quick look at the
Hopefully I'm all good, guys. I rolled over something.
Un par de gente se llama el Putin Angel. Funny, pasa verdadero. Si tienes lo verde siempre llegará primero. Pero yo Lunes. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero.
Yeah, I know.
Money work. Se arregla con dinero.
SC Project branding logo that's on here.
Money work. Si me quiero educar, dormir en algún lugar.
Really cool. And we're also gonna change the kickstand knob, guys. Alright. Let's take a quick look at the
Hopefully I'm all good, guys. I rolled over something.
Un par de gente se llama el Putin Angel. Funny, pasa verdadero. Si tienes lo verde siempre llegará primero. Pero yo Lunes. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero.
Yeah, I know.
Money work. Se arregla con dinero.
All right, here you go.
Money work. Si me quiero educar, dormir en algún lugar. Un lugar para trabajar.
Let's take a quick look at the
just gonna let it run one more time, guys, and we'll get started. Sounds good?
Money work. El mundo quiere dinero.
Yeah, I know.
Money work. Se arregla con dinero.
SE Project branding logo, that's on here.
Money work. Si me quiero educar, dormir en algún lugar.
Really cool. And we're also gonna change the kickstand knob, guys. Alright, let's take a quick look at the
Hopefully I'm all good, guys. I roll over something.
Solo un par de gente se lleva el botín entero. Money, money, paso verdadero. Si tienes lo verde siempre llegará primero. Pero yo Lunes. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero.
Yeah, I know.
Money work.
Yeah, it's a good night, guys, when the music comes on. Of course, you guys know the deal. Always appreciate everyone tuning in for the night. Welcome to another Freestyle Sunday, guys. Super excited to be on. Today's going to be a little bit different. And as usual, I always appreciate you guys coming in, tuning in. Make sure you hit the thumbs up and share the content. It's always great. We have a local legend out here in New York City that very few people tend to know, or at least know about, because he's a very modest guy, okay? He tends to be very low-key when it comes to the community, but he's done a lot of background work from helping people find their bike when it gets stolen out here in New York. And I know you guys know about some of the thievery that goes on, and he's very active in terms of that. Also, his local business he ran initially housed plenty of motorcycle event. As you guys may know, NEMM, of course, part of the hosting was done by his business. Really, really cool. He also does Two Wheel Tuesdays. That's a super cool event. Also, you could see him travel from East to West Coast, just working on different projects with other people that are into the motorcycling world or cars or whatever you might find very interesting. But he's a super interesting guy that lives a very cool lifestyle that I think most of us tend to either pretty much dream about doing that, or at least want to relate to it. So, you know, very, very cool. But we're going to do what we do best, guys. We tend to say what's up to everybody that comes through on the stream on a nightly basis. If you're here early, always appreciate it, and it's always a good look. So we're going to do that, greet everyone. And, of course, we're going to give a special shout-out to Manscaped. They are officially part of the channel. I know you guys didn't see me roll any clips from them in the past 2 streams. That's because we were working out some of our contract, wanted to get the best setup for us and for them as well. But it's pretty much official, and we also have some new partners that also join. So we'll be talking about some of that too down the line. It's looking cool, and again, it's really appreciative that you guys come through and show love and support. The links of anything that we talk about or we show, you guys show love and support, and that's how we kind of grow and kind of spread the message. All right, so let's quickly pop up the chat here and say what's up to everybody before we bring on Shmuel, guys. Whew. I'm going to tell you guys now, it was a little bit of an event, by the way. I ran an update on my MacBook, and I ran an update on the actual live stream setup, and I felt like certain things didn't work as I usually have them. So I was kind of fine-tuning some of that stuff. And in the mix of that, I did not hit the freaking public button, so the stream was private for the first, like, 2 minutes or whatever it may be. But it's all good. But we tend to take care of things pretty quickly as they're coming or as they're going, and we make sure that we don't keep things stale. So we're gonna say what's up to Sasong. Yo, what's good, biker fam? Yes, sir. I'm glad you're here tonight. So if you guys are interested in learning or understanding what it takes to have a bike meet or have people come together, and it's something I think that we take for granted, right? We go to bike meets, we all meet up, we hang out, you know, people have drinks and bring out their bikes and talk. It goes really smoothly and we don't think about it. But there's so much that goes on the back end of stuff, because you have multiple personalities, different style of bikes, and different kind of walks of life, right? And we all kind of come together. I know bikes are one of the main reasons that we all kind of come together, but there's always a brains of the operation on the back, and Shmuel is the guy. By the way, you're probably familiar with Ride More, Talk Less. Love the branding and the logo. He also has some merch and stuff like that that he has for his company. I would highly recommend you guys go and show him support and probably grab a shirt or something like that, or anything that they're promoting, because some of this stuff definitely costs, and I think it's very important that we share and support, you know, anything motorcycle related. So we'll show some of that too a little bit later. And of course, Life with Annabes in the building, showing love. Always nice to have wifey showing love. Also solo riders here as well. Another regular, thank you, sir, for coming on tonight. Governor D Nice, welcome. Power Moto, and more people tend to come in as we're going through the night. So really, really excited to kind of just be on tonight. I'm just going to say right now. Oh, man. All right. So as more people tend to come by, guys, we're going to probably chime in. If you have any questions, you have any things you want to ask in regards to myself or Shmuel, right? Most people know him as Ride More, Talk Less. So feel free to ask. So let's welcome Shmuel, guys. There we go. Looking handsome, man. How are we doing tonight?
How's it going, brother?
I can't complain, man. I appreciate you being on today, seriously. Because, I don't know, what you do is always something that I think that goes a little bit unnoticed in terms of the community. It just gets done really smoothly. Not too many people tend to talk about it, and you're not one to try to be in the limelight or kind of show yourself. But I thought to myself it'd be a great opportunity to really, bring it to the forefront a little bit and just talk about what you do in the community and the people you inspire, including myself, to be honest.
I only agree to do this because of you and your wife. I try to stay behind the scene because I don't want it to be about me or about any other person. I just want it to be, I want to try to keep it as a community. I want it to be about the community and about people. And I don't think it should be, there should be a face to it or somebody that is going to be behind it. I think it's about the people themselves. And so I try to put myself as much as I can behind.
That's definitely understandable, and especially in the space and time that we're currently in at the moment, including myself. I try to be in the forefront, so I'm pretty much guilty of it as well. I guess because the branding of what I do and stuff like that tend to kind of correlate with it, with vlogging and doing content and stuff. But, it's very interesting. I think most of us tend to try to be in the forefront, and I think you take a different approach when we're talking about not necessarily content, because you do post stuff on Instagram and stuff like that, pretty active. But what you do tend to be, I feel like it's more wholesome, right? It's more like about really the culture, about the people, about the bikes. There's no favoritism about what brand or make and model that you ride, what you do. It's always about the people. And I always think that breeds or at least it shows like a strong leader. It's not about like a special group of people, a specific group of people. I've even seen you interact with police officers when they've come to events and stuff. They're always welcome, and how you portray all this stuff. So I guess talk to us a little bit about that stuff, I'd say.
I think when you talk about the motorcycle world or the motorcycle community, it varies. It's so wide in the sense of how people like to ride, what people get out of riding, what kind of bikes people ride, what kind of people ride, so I think in general it's so wide, and I try to include and I try to make everybody feel welcome and everybody feel part of this community and this great thing. So from that, I try to keep it as wide and as open as possible, so everyone feels welcome and everybody feels comfortable. Yeah, I think we started when the Two Wheel Tuesday started. Geez, I forget the year it started, but 7 or 8 years ago. It started as an offshoot of a Two Wheel Tuesday that happened at a different location, and it was the thing that bothered most people about it, and me included, was that it was there were cliques. There were like it was like certain people felt like they owned the event. Certain people felt like certain bikes were not welcome. Certain people were not welcome. So from day one, that was my goal, to change it and make everyone feel welcome and make everyone feel at home. Um, yeah,
And,
that's
and the funny thing is, you mentioned that. That's exactly the vibe that I get when I go to any of the event. I would show up with my Monster or any of the bikes, and you'll see people with Harleys. Everybody is there, and nobody has like an air about them. Everyone's kind of chilling, hanging out, looking at each other's bikes. You see people doing walk around, and I mean, outside of like a major place like Revzilla or Cycle Gear, where I've been to one of those events, which is once a month. You're the only person that's hosts one of these things, and everyone tends. I've never seen a single spat of like unprofessionalism of people being there all together. Which I'm sure there are times where people don't agree with one another, but I've never seen it get out of hand or anyone saying anything to one another. It's pretty much all love, all support. Everyone's pretty much just as passionate and having a great time, which is crazy. And I don't know. And you said 8 years. That's just surreal that you've been doing that for so long. And I don't think you've missed like a Tuesday. I'm freaking mind blown. I'm like scrambling on a Tuesday, like leaving the office trying to figure out, will I make it or will I not? Or can I go this time? You've never missed once. Like, what the hell's going on? Like, how does that happen?
Yeah, I'm that lucky. I'm that lucky to have to take part in so many of them. Yeah, I think the only thing that will throw me off or will bother me is, so I originally ran this event in an East Village corner, surrounded by buildings and surrounded by a lot of people who were just, looking at this massive motorcycle gathering and being completely intimidated by it. So I had a lot of eyes watching over me, making sure that we're not being too loud, we're being respectful. So I think that was my main concern. Is like, make sure that everybody behaves, make sure that everybody's acts respectfully, make sure that everybody understands that not everyone loves to hear the revving of a motorcycle. And so it's like, as long as everybody's behaving and being respectful to the neighbors, and that's other than that, it was totally open to anything. And the other thing about different bikes and different people's riding different bikes, it's throughout the 8 years I've seen people switch from, people who were riding sports bikes turning into adventure bikes, people riding adventure bikes turning into custom bikes. I've seen people move from one side to the other, and I wanna believe that there shouldn't be like one type of bikers meetups. Or I think when the more bikes and the more different types of bikes that come together opens up people's mind about other types of riders, or give other people's ideas about other type of ridings, or so I think it's part of my goal, if you want to say it that way.
And it's great that you mentioned that. I think it's something that's very true to the community, right, of us riding bikes. I think you start on most people tend to see either a GP bike or a sports bike. It's like, it's the ideal thing that you want to ride. It's like, oh my God, that's amazing. And as you progress through your riding career and stuff like that, experiencing more bikes, so either tri-naked bikes, dirt bikes, adventure bike, which is completely true. And I think there's a disconnect that happens over time, right? When we're into sports bike, we think everyone else is just sports bike, right? And then when we go to dirt bike, it's like, oh man, screw the sports bike. It's like dirt bike is like life or whatever. And we tend to forget how quickly we used to love something, or whether it's unrelatable to us now, it's still the same flow, the same passion of riding bikes. I love that you're thinking that way, just because it just feels right,
Keeping an open mind. Hey, you're practicing wheelie on a Kawasaki KX. It's like I see a bunch of people who I met them either during their first ride on Harley Davidson, and now they're riding dirt bikes, or now they're doing adventure bikes in South America. It's like it's keeping your mind open to other. At the end of the day, it's the same thing. It's like the freedom of riding, the joy of riding, and then you think that you're into road riding, and then you open up for something else. Or so I think it's a good thing to have all groups and all walks of bikes together.
I agree. And that's the funny thing you mentioned that like I'm having so much fun with the dirt bike. I think for the last tail end of 2022 summer, I barely rode any of the main bikes unless I was going somewhere far. I was on the dirt bike most of the end of the summer till now, and I'm riding it in the winter and still just like harnessing my skill and just like
I know, and I follow it and I love it. I follow it and I absolutely love it. Not to mention the you know the brand. It's like the same as people are attached to a certain type of bike. There's people who are attached to a certain brand, and they will only stick. Even though people like to connect me with the KTM motorcycle, but it's like you should keep your mind open. You should have, you should keep your head open about every type of bikes, every make and model, is to say.
Yep. And you're a big KTM guy. We're gonna switch gear a little bit. By the way, you are a big KTM guy. I know you're not like a brand loyalist or anything like that, but KTM is always around you. And the crazy thing here is your bike has been stolen so many times.
Too many times.
Guys, let's talk about this, about being in New York, in New York City, and his bike getting stolen, and the beauty of the networking culture that, I'm going to say Shmuel, but I like to say ride more, talk less. Guys, please make sure you go into his Instagram, give him a follow, and please, I'm going to show up the ride more, talk less branding. Really, really cool, really dope. And I think it's, again, very crucial that we support our own and make sure that this stuff continues. And, you have to speak with your wallet. So, whether it's $20, $25 for a shirt or something like that, I'd really appreciate it. If I ever show anything to you guys as promotion, this would be one I would definitely recommend you guys do, because I like to support small businesses, and something, there's some major companies that we work with, but something small like this is really important because it's not like a corporate check. We make things happen, so it's important. I'm going to show up the site shortly, but yeah, talk to us about your KTM and all the thievery that goes on through New York City and the network you've built, which is where I was going towards. You managed to recover your bike several times, and I've actually seen you recover this bike in California. That's how far the network spans, with your bike getting stolen and just posting on Ride More Talk Glass, and then everyone just kind of blasted out, and your bike gets found, even though it's not in the best shape, but it gets found. So talk to us about that. This is crazy, man.
So it was not just about my bike being recovered. I walked through and I've witnessed so many bikes getting recovered. As again, this goes back to the power of community. It's when you have I think we're at 10,000 followers, but when you have 10,000 followers and we have those people share whenever a bike gets stolen, it's just as there's a lot of eyes on looking for those stolen bikes. I have between my two bikes, I got them. They were stolen 5 times, and I recovered them 4 out of 5. So my other KTM 390 was stolen 3 times. I recovered it only twice. The third time it was gone. My 1190 got stolen twice, and I recovered it twice. And it's always somebody saw the post, shared it, and then somebody else saw it. It's always, when you have a lot of eyes looking for the bikes, there's a bigger chance to finding it.
So how does that work? So let's say a bike gets stolen or your bike gets
I'll
stolen?
I'll tell you the story of actually it was the first time it was the theft that actually started it all. It was my KTM 390. I custom built it. It was a KTM 390 Duke that I turned into some scrambler looking bike.
Yeah,
It was a
you can talk. I'm
it
actually
was
gonna
a
pull
one
it.
of a kind.
You can talk.
Say
I'm
again?
gonna pull it up because I want them to see that bike. It was very cool. Hold on. Go ahead.
So it was a KTM 390. Tina Pershitz, my dear friend, left it to me. So I was riding the bike. It was parked outside Spiegel, and I came in the morning to do something, and then I noticed that it was gone. So I had to run away, came back an hour later, started looking for it, thought maybe one of my friends got it, maybe the marshal got it, maybe the city got it. When I realized it was stolen, I posted a picture of it with my phone number on it and said and asked for people to look for it. Now I know how it played because I know that one of my friend reposted my photo, and this guy, dear friend, who has a bread route in the Bronx, saw the bike. He snapped a photo of the guy on the bike and told me exactly where it was. And I went up there, called highway patrol guys. They helped me locate the bike, and we got the bike. We got the bike and the guy actually.
So
So that was the first bike. And after that, people started reaching out and saying, "I got my bike stolen. Can you help me?" And then we kept sharing stolen bikes. And we had, I think the number right around there, I think it was within the same season, we recovered another 7 bikes altogether. So that was a good community work, like a combined effort.
what was sad to me about this whole thing with the bike, I felt like every couple of weekends we kept on seeing another bike was stolen, was posted. It was great that, so here's one of them, one of his motorcycles. Really, really cool bike. I have to scroll further all the way down. There's so many other bikes. You're seeing some food photos also here on his Instagram.
Yeah.
That's because originally Spiegel was a really, really dope restaurant, and unfortunately due to COVID, as much as much you tried to keep everything running, but unfortunately we didn't make it through it, right?
That's the bike I was traveling through Central America with. And I think that was
This one, right?
the orange KTM with the stickers from Central America.
Mm-hmm.
And it was parked outside Spiegel, and it kind of drew people with motorcycles to the restaurant, and then eventually led to the beginning of Tool Tuesday, basically.
Yeah,
So it's like,
I miss the restaurant a lot, man. This thing was
me too.
so cool.
Me too. We'll be back.
Oh my God,
We'll
this
be
thing
back.
was so cool. The food was amazing.
Thank you.
And guys, by the way, that's just me talking. This whole thing was just done so well in terms of. I just love talking about it and just reminiscing about Spiegel. Spiegel, by the way, that's the name of the restaurant that Shmuel owned originally. If you show up with your bike and you come in with your helmet, your food is discounted because you're riding. The whole thing was just so cool. The vibe is so dope. It just inspired people. Just you leave your office, you're hanging out. It's just a thing. 5 o'clock come in. It's like you're leaving. Either you're clocking out whatever job you're doing. You got to go to Spiegel Tuesday night and go and hang out and see other bikes and chop it up. It's just the whole thing. And it was super respectful because to a point, since it is New York City, downtown, I think Soho, right? Or was it more NoHo? No, it wasn't North.
It was East Village.
East Village, so we couldn't be too loud. And everyone kind of followed the rules without revving their bike completely crazy. By the way, just want to say hi to everyone also. There's a few more people that's showing up as we're going through the stream. Let me just say what's up to everybody. By the way, guys, we always appreciate you coming through. Again, guys, it's completely appreciated whenever you guys come on and be part of the stream and at least show love and support. I think Paramoto. Tool Twansy's in the building. Sup, bro? bro. He said bro twice. I read that a little separate. Cool. Dave Picciones in the building. Really cool. Hopefully you've been seeing my wheelie progress. By the way, I'm doing pretty good. I think I would say I could clutch up to balance point consistently, and I'm the tips that you gave me about going really slow in the beginning and just clutching it up to balance point and then just not revving the bike out or chasing the wheelie. I've been doing that. Today I didn't practice. I was a little bit lazy today. I didn't really do anything. But this week, very excited. So I'm just really trying to work my way to getting better and better and consistent and doing it safely, by the way. So that's really, really cool. So a lot of support. A lot of people are always, whenever I post those stories, not really to show off or anything like that, is always to kind of get feedback for other people that are more in tune with, like, modding their bike and doing wheelies and stuff. So you guys always give really great feedback.
Have you ever tried the wheelie machine?
No.
Safety Stunts have one, and I think Spicy has learned to ride. I think she has a machine as well. Have you ever tried those?
No, I have never.
No,
never. But I'm getting the hang of it really, 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 really well, because at first, before even going into doing anything, I just spent a lot of time just studying and just understanding why and how the bike does it. And I think that really helped me a lot, instead of me just going out there, cold, just trying random things. I think I fell 3 times, but I wore gear, and I initially started on the dirt and stuff. I never really got hurt. But then as I understood things more and more, it was fairly straightforward. Now it's just really practicing consistency and being, like, very comfortable with just clutching it up and then slightly closing the throttle. Once it's in balance point, it stays there. You close the throttle, it just kind of go outwards. So understanding it was a big deal, but a lot of really great tips from people that kind of shared. And I've been documenting it for actually since the tail end of 22 summer. Any video, any clips I've been uploading, they're pretty old. So I'm way further ahead. So I'm just loading the documentary of it now, at least kind of my journey, so other people can either see how I did it or how they could do it themselves as well in a safe manner. So, but yeah, I'm still alive. I thought I would have killed myself at this point. So obviously I'm pretty good at this at this point. Oh man. So how do you get your bike from the east to the west coast? Because you move, dude, I'm telling you, the lifestyle you live, I think all of us watch and we see it online, and I'm like, damn, man, I wish I could just quit everything and just do this.
You can only do it if you're super rich or super poor. You want to guess which one is me? It's
you're super rich.
Option. Yeah, no. I take every opportunity I have to drive across country. I love driving. I love the country. I love, traveling. I love, I went through Central America. I was traveling for 7 months from on my bike, camping, eating, doing everything from the bike. So for me, every opportunity is a great opportunity. Every opportunity to travel with the bike is great for me. My last 2 cross countries I've had, so I built a small trailer, a 6x8 trailer that I pull with my Jeep, and that trailer turns into so that trailer holds my motorcycle, and I built that trailer in a way that when I pull the motorcycle out, I can sleep in the trailer, and it's nice and cozy and comfortable. So that gives me the comfort of going wherever I want and be, always be, comfortable and safe. I had an opportunity to go to the West Coast, to LA, to work with my friend. So I took the opportunity and went there for winter, and which was great. And I of course extended my trip to the West Coast as much as I could, and coming back, I extended it. I drove back through Montana. So every chance I get, I love traveling. So I take every chance I get.
Yeah, it's a wild journey, man. I always say this is kind of really impressive because I think what happened to most of us, we get into a space where materialism have a big impact, right? You know, you either get a place, get a home, you know, you buy a bike, you get another bike. You just start you going down this rabbit hole of stuff that you like, and you know, I would say you're one of those people that completely don't fit that mold. You really you cherish like experience, people, and just moving around and just really enjoying things. And I think it's something that you know, pretty much most of us eventually master with every year that passes. You start realizing, hey, you know, having this is great, but then certain things are way better than other, or something traumatic happened to your life. Even you know what happened to me with between A and I and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Completely changed my outlook on a lot of things, and it's really kind of cleared things up quite a bit in terms of what I really want, things that I want to do, what I'm passionate about, and stuff like that. And I think you've always had that vibe where it's like you're doing your thing, you enjoy, you know, nothing really kind of gets to you too much. Even the restaurant, even to me, that was just like heart wrenching. And you know, you came out of it on the other side. Like the next thing, you know, I'm gonna continue doing Tool Tuesday, having a great time. You know, I've never even seen you upset over anything.
No,
It's just
no.
nothing is enough to
upset.
get to you.
I actually live above the restaurant, and I walk by it every morning, and it's like people ask me if I'm upset, if I have zero. It's like whatever needs to happen happens. Um I don't think we have enough time to go over the story of my life, but I've had situations where I thought this was such a big missed opportunity, and years later it turned out that, you know, it literally saved my life. The the situation that I thought that was a miss was actually worked out to be the best thing that ever happened to me. So it's like whatever happens, happens. You know, I don't look back, and life goes on. Life is too short to be upset about things that, you know, happened.
Yeah, I agree, and I share the same exact sentiment because I think most people, in a lot of cases, you will soon find out, and even to the point, I think you've probably either experienced this before, where people are like, oh, you know, YOLO, live once, whatever, you got a bike, do whatever, and I think we all at some point share similar sentiment. Now I'm like, I want to have a good time and go home with my family, and and enjoy things on both sides, kind of thing. So, really cool.
Which is also great. Which is also good. I think that, you know, the traveling on the bike through Central America kind of made I'm not gonna say kind of changed my life, because it was like, you know, it was I didn't start from nothing. I love travel, but I think just realizing that you know, that there's more than life to, you know, material or whatever. And when you realize that you can, you know, life will continue. If you're going to take a break, nothing will change. If you take a break and come back in a year, nothing will change. Everything will wait for you. Nothing is going to happen, you know. And once you start traveling, it's like this it's I cannot express how much fun it is, how much joy it gives. So it's like it's worth everything.
So you always just drive with your bike, or because you've been some other places where either do you get other bikes while you're there, or they're just
Well, it depends. There were situations where I have a lot of friends with bikes. So if I'm there without my bike, which is rare, I've borrowed and I've lended motorcycles from friends, or yeah. But it was most of the time it's either I'll ride somewhere or I'll drive and, you know, bring my bike with me. So I always try to have the bike around me.
okay. So the other thing that's really cool about what you do also, and you keep things nice and fresh also regarding, because I remember originally with the restaurant Spiegel, And every time I say it, it bothers me because that place was so cool. That is the place to be every Tuesday night, man. It's just whatever.
But we're still doing it. We're still doing it, and it's most likely will come back. It's not that it's not dead. It's just it's just evolving.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
How do you call it? It was just this spot that was really cool. But what I think is even better, it's very dynamic. Every time people meet up, bring all their bikes and come and hang out. What I love that's been happening over time, I guess an expansion or revamp of everything, because you've done it in the Classic Car Club. Really cool. Oh my God, guys! If you're from New York, you got to be there. And if you're not from New York, you ever come to New York and you happen to be on a Tuesday, you come. It's really cool. So you've done a Classic Car Club where all of these super expensive, fancy cars are. Great food. The lighting's awesome. You could see the is it the which river? East River, right? Looking over the FDR, right?
The Hudson.
The Hudson River. You've done it where you do like a movie night also.
Yeah, Skyline Drive-In.
Skyline Drive, guys. Every single one of them, and it's not a rinse and repeat. Everyone shows up, kind of talk and chop it up, show their bike. It's completely different every single time. There's eventually you have some events that are repeated in the same location, which is fine. But ideally, through the summer, we're all bouncing from one place to another, and it spreads so quickly when you post it. It's so cool. I know I'm talking about it. Maybe you don't see it because when you're the main person that are doing it, the thing to me is when we did NEMM, I didn't have a great time because I spent a lot of time organizing and the route, and then 3 other guys with me were doing it. When you're doing the work, you tend to kind of lose sight of the fun aspect. But I'm speaking from the outside, and it's so cool, man.
It's amazing. Like when one of those big events happen, it's like I am literally parking each and every bike, and I'm so in it. And it's like for me, the catharsis of at the end of the event is like the relief of it went smooth, everybody was happy, when nobody got hurt. Or seeing the photos after, that's where the joy happens. Yeah, we've done a bunch of events with the Dainese. We've done an event for Revit. I think the size and the size of the event and the impact that the community has is being noticed, and I love that big brands like Dainese and Revit and Livewire and Harley Davidson and Ducati are noticing it, and they participate, or they're helping us put up more and more events. This next season is gonna be a lot of fun. We're trying to plan a bunch of other events, repeated events. Last year we did our first moto camp, which was Jeeps, cars, motorcycles, camping up in by Rhinebeck. So we'll do that again next year. And then we're gonna do a bunch of, beside the motorcycle, we started doing cars and coffee on Sunday mornings. We do our off-road events as well. So we're gonna try to, put those for next year, but we're gonna try to make some unique and special events. We're gonna do an Italian cars and motorcycle show. We're gonna do a British motorcycles and cars show. We're gonna do an air-cooled Volkswagen Porsche event.
Wow.
This, and I feel like I feel the same every season, every pre-season, that this season is going to be the greatest. This season is going to be an amazing season, and I feel like this season is actually going to be the best season.
I agree. So, Shmuel, let me pull up the site real quick here. I just really want to show people this, and I think it should be something that should be shown. Guys, let's take a look. Hopefully you can kind of walk us through it, Shmuel. Guys, let's take a look here. This is Ride More Talk Less. That's the brand, guys. As you can see, actually, this is a classic car club shot here on the right side, and on the left, I think this is overseeing New York City. And if you guys don't mind, I'd really, really appreciate it. The gesture, you guys just going to check out Ride More Talk Less. I'm gonna have the link in the description. I'm gonna pin everything right in the first comment, so you guys could go and show love and support. Truly, truly, it's worth it, guys. Shmuel's a great guy. What he does for the community is amazing. He brings people together. And it's not about money or anything like that, but I would love to see his adventures continue and, continue bringing people all together and have these really cool events. And I'm sure he has way more plans to do a lot cooler things, guys. So, yeah. And these things are...
And Filson, I can't believe I didn't mention Filson, which is like by far my one of my favorite brands. You know, Filson, Jane Motorcycles. It's, yeah.
So definitely, guys, hit those links. If you're watching this a little bit later, definitely check out Ride More Talk Less and grab yourself a shirt, man. It's not like one of those things where you're just throwing money in the wind. It's something that means a lot to me and others in this community. And if you're in New York and you don't have one of those things, guys, shame on you. You should be rocking one and support our own. So I just had to highlight that here and making sure that people know to kind of, because Shmuel is not the kind of guy that's going to tell you, hey man, show love. He's the guy that you're going to go to the event, right? He's going to pull up, go in the back of the restaurant and give you the shirts, give you the merch. And again, instead of him really kind of putting it out there, which is great that it's online. That way, when you don't see him, he won't give it to you for free. Go and actually support. I think that's the right thing to do. It's the correct thing to do because we owe that to someone that's special in our community, that's passionate about bikes, passionate about people, and of course food. Oh my God, I'm such a fat boy. So, I think that's really cool, man. So,
I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. We had it was easier when the restaurant was operating, so it was kind of supporting the financial burden of having these events, and now we're trying to figure out how to keep it running. And like I said, I'm happy that we're finally getting recognized by brands, and we get help from them as well. So I appreciate that.
So how does that work with in terms of brands? Are they reaching out to you because since we do kind of the podcast and we do YouTube vlogging and stuff, it's a whole different market where, I've gotten people on here that's pretty talented, that's pretty well known. Either brands reach out to them or they make the attempt, and then from there it grows becoming to something else. But in your case, your events are being broadcasted by third party, pretty much us, and then you post them as well. Are you making the attempt to reach out to them, or they're noticing what's going on and then they're reaching out to you?
I think it's mostly they're noticing, and it goes a long way. I mean, when we had those shots, first Revit North America is or used to be run from we know the owners, we know the people involved, and it's ran from Brooklyn. So it's like they noticed what was going on, and then we pulled an event with them, and then those photos went a long way. It's like seeing the amount of motorcycles that we brought in, and seeing the size of our community. Just it has an impact. So it's mostly brands reaching out.
Yep. And our industry is very small. We always talk about this nightly, every Sunday night.
100%.
Once you know one person, or one person knows you or recognize you, pretty much it's like wildfire. So in the same space, if you start burning bridges or creating a toxic environment, it spreads pretty quickly too. So being professional and at least people recognizing it, it's gonna go a long way pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. One really cool event, that last thing I wanted to touch on before anything else for a wrap up, because we usually chat for about an hour. That way we don't keep you all night and stuff. You did a really cool event. What's the gentleman's name? He's a Porsche guy. Has the beard.
Magnus Walker.
Magnus Walker. What the hell? That is so cool, dude. By the way, Porsches are my favorite thing in the entire
Which
planet.
one? The Outlaw Gathering in Skyline?
Oh, you did that
The
one.
Sunday morning.
And then you were also on the East Coast with him too, right? I saw you got the
Yeah,
exclusive
yeah,
sneakers.
yeah.
That was so cool. I'm like, what the? This guy's life is a freaking movie.
Uh,
How did that come about?
Magnus Walker and Hannah Elliott are good friends of ours. We moved to LA to help them with their new house up in Hollywood Hills. And this is where the bike got stolen, by the way.
Really? In the Hollywood Hills?
In the Hollywood Hills, so it's a funny story because it was parked up in the hill, and the guy who stole it, I kind of noticed one of the how should I call it, like a homeless communities. I saw one motorcycle that caught my eye, and I something was fishy over there. And when I noticed that my motorcycle was gone, that was like the first spot that I went to look for that bike. And yeah, he was literally taking my bike apart at that moment. But what he did is just he pushed it all the way down to the bottom of the hills.
What was his intention? To sell it in pieces? Technically, he's not,
I
right?
really don't know. I have no idea. But he was taking it apart. He took it apart. I had to put it together, like battery and plastics. I'm still missing a bunch of plastics on the bikes now. They were just gone.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. I think when you did the recovery of that bike, or at least the bike, that time I saw that didn't have any fairings on the tank.
Yeah. All those plastics were gone. I literally had a video. I was filming him taking the motorcycle apart, and I was gonna wait for the cops to show up and then have him arrested, because I didn't want to go there and have him run away. And then it was. So I kind of waited and waited and waited, and it took the cops forever. And then I didn't want him to damage the ignition. So I kind of went out and confronted him. It still took the cops another hour to show up. So by the time they showed up, I had, whatever was left from the bike. And yeah, I'm still buying those plastics little by little.
Oh my God! So I'm sure. I'm just, now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I wonder what's your insurance like every time if your bike keep getting stolen.
No, nothing. Nothing. That's I mean, knock on wood, because if your bike gets stolen, it's a no fault. So your insurance doesn't go up.
Okay.
I've been riding for many years, and I am old enough to have a good quote on my insurance.
Oh, I did say that was going to be my last question, but I'm going to ask this anyway. I'm going to be riding my bike. I'm actually getting another bike to ride daily for the summer. Don't laugh, man.
No. I'm preparing my question. So when are we going to see you riding the Pine Barrens, or when are you getting an adventure bike?
I don't know, man. I'm getting... It's probably going to happen at some point, man, because I'm slowly moving towards it. I'm moving further and further away from the super fast stuff. And with the dirt bike, I'm liking it a lot. And I actually want a KLX, is it 300 or 250, a supermoto? So I'm actually contemplating that. Once I'm completely fluent with the wheelies and stuff, I'm going to get rid of maybe the KLX 140 and get a supermoto. Because I like that a lot. And I'm looking at another bike, but I'm going to be using that daily. Cause
I see an adventure bike in your future.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. It's I'll let you find out yourself. But it's like when you when you realize that you can be out in the woods and out in nature and travel and have, you know, have a blast that is totally different than anything that you've done on a motorcycle before. It's priceless.
So I rode while I was in Detroit, I think. I rode a buddy of mine's Multistrada Pikes Peak. Best bike best Ducati I've ever ridden my entire life. It was very, very big, and then the you know, the controls and stuff was very pronounced and stuff. But once you got on there, the bike felt like a super bike that was super flickable, very powerful, very fast. But the bike was great. I tell people this all the time, and I've ridden a lot of different bikes. I'm like, I think this is one of the best bikes I've ridden, actually, to be honest. And another good friend of mine who actually has a GS, and he has all the super bikes, he was like, this was my favorite bike. So I'm seeing a lot of that happening to a lot of people that rides. Oh my God, my dog's like losing her mind already. Usually take her out for a walk around this time. But yeah, so the question I was going to ask you, you're a Manhattan guy, so you would know. I'm trying to find a motorcycle place to park my bike while I'm at work. I'm just like completely fearful of putting my bike outside.
There's so many. There's thank God there's a lot in the city and in Brooklyn. I can you just tell me what area you're looking at. There's Rising Wolf, there's Riders Alley, there's Dirty Billy, Concelia, there's Motor Girl. There's so many. You just need to be specific about your location, and there's a bunch.
I'm more towards Chelsea. I'm gonna do it probably like a monthly thing or every 6 months or whatever for work. Because when the season changes around, I'm probably just gonna ride the bike to work all the time, and I'm just gonna park. I can't have that fear like, oh my God, somebody's gonna take my bike. So I'm gonna park it for sure. So that's gonna be the big thing. I've been
Chelsea during the day is pretty safe, I would say.
See, the thing is, the people taking the bike is one thing, but people nudging your bike over, that's a whole other.
Now, I think I noticed you snapped a photo of a bike, and I suspect that it was 18th Street and 7th Avenue.
Oh my God, yes it was. That's so, right? Oh my God.
I know my city. I know my city very well.
Yeah. That was and it was that bike came from Jersey, to be honest. And I've seen another adventure bike in that area too. Every time I'm going to the office, I'm like, damn, this is cool.
I used to park right there, and we have another friend who rides a Suzuki DR. He parks right there as well. There's a bunch of bikers that get it's an easy way to get into the city, and there's hopefully if we can get this has always been one of my goals to try to make a change in the city and have them give us some motorcycle parking spots in the city. It's like this is like an endless battle. That would make a huge difference. But I think there's some good spots where you can safely park a motorcycle in Chelsea. Otherwise, I think Riders Alley has a spot maybe further up though. But yeah, just let me know when you're ready. I'll
probably around March, because I intend to come to Tool Tuesdays pretty much weekly, because I'm just gonna ride the bike already instead of going home. So I'll just be able to leave the office and then come. I might be a little bit late, maybe 6:30, but I'll definitely go out there. But I'm finding that there's a lot of parking space I found, and every time I go and talk to them, it's like they need a special parking for bikes, like a license. They can't. Not every parking can take bikes, because they're not for them. In order for them to be liable, they have to have a specific license for that.
I think it's. I honestly, I don't think it's. I don't see why it would be like that, but you can't force them to take bikes.
Yeah. So that's what it is. Hopefully by March or so, I'll be able to find something. Well, I'm sure I'll find something. Just I want it to be close. That way, walking distance, I'll be able to grab the bike right after, and on the Tuesdays and stuff, just totally head out there and kind of hang out and eat some good food and chop it up with everybody.
For sure. For sure. It's gonna be a good season.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Hopefully the rainy part is gonna be short, but then it's gonna be a great season.
No, it's
There's a
gonna be
lot
good.
of cool stuff happening.
No, it's gonna be good because I think even winter's not too harsh. I mean, I bought like warmer gloves and stuff, and I stay locally and ride. It hasn't been that bad that I can't really go out kind of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Not to mention the moto camp that you two have to come up.
Mhm.
We're trying to set up a wheelie machine or a wheelie program there. Hopefully you can teach it.
Me?
Yeah. By the time you will be able to teach it, but it'll be a good opportunity to go, explore some dirt roads upstate. Yeah, a lot of cool things to look for this season.
Yeah, man. I'm game for sure. But by then, I can assure you, I'm pretty further away than at least I'm pretty far out for the whole wheelie thing. And I've been uploading videos from like late 2022 till now. Now I'm like so comfortable. I'm just practicing my driveway back and forth and stuff. So
I love that you're doing it. It used to be I used to think that wheelies you learn either when you're young and stupid or you never learn them.
I shared that exact sentiment too in the beginning, and then I thought to myself, it's gonna be a really dumb thing for me to get to a point and say to myself, "Damn, I should have learned this," and it's gonna be a regrettable thing. And I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna take the money, get a bike that I know that it's okay to dump, and it's not gonna bother me. I think once you get over that hump of, because you know how it is, we love our bikes very much. Even if we were to drop our bikes or we crash it, even though we were hurt, we were like, oh my God, the bike, and then we come second kind of thing. I think one of the best thing about buying the KLX is the fact that it's not very expensive. The parts are between $30 to $60 for the fairing. It's super cheap, and the thing is built like a tank, really. I dumped it in the parking lot twice, and then after that, it's been in the on the grass. And it gets right back up and just work as is, no problem at all, no scuff. The bike is pretty much as it was. I did break the pegs, which I replaced, and it just keeps going. And then once you pass that fear, and then understanding how it goes, and it's safe. I would say all gear, all your padding and stuff like that. Because in the beginning you're bound to make a mistake, right? Because that's how you learn, and then you start self-correcting. Recording it. You could watch it later, because I watch it even more than actually practicing. I'm finding I'm learning way more watching myself, what I'm doing wrong or what I could do better. Even one of the time that I think when I did, I looped the bike, and it looked like I went for the rear brake, which I'm like, damn, I'm not memorizing this. It was like one of those weeks I was like on a downslope. I was like, damn, I'm not memorizing it. Meanwhile, it's being ingrained into the brain, right? You can see my boot slip past the brake. Because I zoomed in and slowed down the video. You could see me doing it, but I slipped. So immediately I went to the garage. I got like this 2x4, and I bent the rear brake out more. So now it's like perfect. So any of the boots I'm wearing, you always hit it, and I got a better feel for it. And it's just and it's, to be honest, I've fallen back in love, at least with like discovering something new again,
Yeah.
And it's less about the wheelie now. It's more like, oh my God, I'm learning something completely new. So it's kind of, I know it's kind of stupid, but yeah.
It's not at all. It's just like with any, every aspect of riding. It's like you get to refine those skills. As you get into a track, you get into an off-road, you get to whatever you do, there's like those skills that you have to work on. And I love that you're doing it. I'm watching you and I'm admiring you.
You know what's so funny also? I believe that I'm riding better my other bikes now.
Yeah?
Yeah, because the bike because I'm ringing the bike out a lot. So when I go through the neighborhood, there's no exhaust, so it doesn't disturb anybody. Nobody tends to have any issues or whatever. I ride through the cul-de-sac and locally. I ring the bike out all the way to fifth gear, and it's just like cornering. It's just like really downshifting and just coasting through the corner. Also, slow maneuvers. I feel like I'm super confident I guess for some reason, maybe because I'm just so used to going fast on the other bikes and, you know, you hitting the highway or whatever. But when you're in a parking space or you're in a small area, you're just kind of looping around. Small things, you start, you know, modulating so much of the rear brake for like small little areas and balancing the bike. I feel like I rode the Hyper when one of these days it was nice out, and I was like, oh, I'll just ride around. And Anna was like, yo, you should ride your other bike. So I was like, no, I'll just rather ride the small bike because it's just fun. I rode the Hyper and it felt very different to me. Like I felt like I understood the bike way better. It's hard to explain into words, but the comfortability went from like here to like completely here now. It's strange.
Yeah. Each bike, or when you play around with it, your skills get sharper and sharper.
100%. So anyway, Shmuel, I'm not gonna keep you all night. It's been completely awesome. I'm gonna give you the floor. You tell people where to find you, and of course your merch. We want people to see that. We want people to buy it and show love and support. And for the 2 Wheel Tuesday events, let them know where they can find you. I'll give you the floor, sir. It's all you.
I follow us on Ride More Talk Less on Instagram, and that's about it. If you have any, I read the DMs. So if you have any feedback or anything you want to see or anything you want to suggest, just send the DM. And like you said, the merch do keep us moving, so I appreciate that.
Yep.
I appreciate that a lot.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, I truly appreciate all of you guys coming through. As you guys know, Motivation is one of our biggest sponsor on the channel. Their links is in the description. If you're looking for bike parts and stuff, I usually kind of highlight that in the beginning. But tonight we did a little bit further in the end. I think it's been a bit of a slow month, really, but you guys tend to, click our link pretty often. But if you're shopping for yourself, for your own bike, or for a friend, definitely hit the link in the description. Everything helps. Also, it helps the channel grow, help us get more sponsors. So appreciate you guys tuning in for tonight. If you're watching this later, hit the thumbs up, and I'll catch you guys next Sunday. Shmuel, thank you so much for coming through tonight. Truly appreciate your time, and I value you tremendously in this industry. And I have so much respect for what you do and for you, sir.
Thank you so much, brother.
Yeah, man. Anytime. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah. And I want to say hi. Come on.